Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog, Discord server, media group, Facebook group, Twittering, and Instagram. So I was talking with Bad Mike, we were doing Talk and Crit earlier today, and one of the things that I brought up, is the fact that it's getting hard, to get people to make an appearance on a podcast that aren't the regulars. Because in this current climate, everybody's afraid they're going to say something, be unpersoned, and suddenly no longer have a viable market. And it's happened. We can't say it hasn't happened. And listen, I'm not worried about what I say. I said this before. I'm retired. Whatever. Mike, self-employed. Whatever. But we can understand. Because even those that aren't making a living off of the OSR or gaming as producers, a lot, maybe you're making enough that your wife doesn't have to work and can stay home with the kids. Or maybe you're making enough that it makes your living easier. Your finances are easier. And to lose that income would be, at the very least, detrimental. Right? So, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have people make appearances. I'm going to have somebody coming on probably in about a week or so from Frog Guy Games. Alright. But it's hard when the idea with Talking Crit was that we would have regular guests, and not everybody can have the large balls of steel that somebody like Greg Gillespie has. That was Bad Mike's name to give Greg Balls of Steel Gillespie, because Greg came on and he didn't hold back. He wasn't worried about being unpersoned. He wasn't worried about being, having people upset by what he said and suddenly call for a boycott of his material. And that's important. And I think that part of the issue is that right now, in the midst of this pandemic, people don't have distractions. They don't have... so a lot of people unemployed. People are not going to school. They're not going to class in person, even though it's the summertime. Maybe they wouldn't be, but you lost your spring semester, right? It all became distance learning. So you have all this free time, no obligations, no responsibility. And I think that the ability then to focus on stuff that might not be focused on under normal circumstances, adding the general stress of the pandemic and the shelter in place, shelter at home, don't do this, don't do that. It's stressful, and people, to some extent, need to put that stress elsewhere. And I personally believe that is why some of what is going on, even in a hobby, or even within geekdom, as Mike brought up, oh God, I can't remember her name now, pretty much the strong female former rebel fighter in the Maldorian, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Star Wars series on Disney Plus. She's getting like a lot of negative attention for pretty much innocuous stuff, because I think under normal circumstances it wouldn't even be happening. But again, people are already unduly stressed. So how do you deal with that stress? Well, maybe it's something we could deal with on Gamers Health on Friday. Dealing with stress some techniques. Rachel's nodding her head. She's like, "Yep, that sounds good." And also, we'll have a voicemail from none other than our very own Laramie, so that should be fun. But I think that for me, dealing with that stress, you have to find a way to ground yourself. I ground myself by producing these podcasts and by blogging and by working on Torchlight. I'm occupying my brain. Now, it's taken me a while to do that, to occupy myself in retirement. And I'll be honest with you, one of my activities that occupied a good portion of my weekly time, I no longer do because of lockdown COVID. What activity is that, Rach? I know you're dying to say it.
No.
Yes, you are. What activity am I not doing that was kept occupied part of my day?
Gossiping at the pub.
Gossiping at the pub. Now, if I wanted to gossip at the pub, I could still do that, but I'd be sitting outside, and my tolerance for heat is not what it used to be. Not that I ever tolerated it well. So I've only gone down to the pub like twice in the time since COVID has struck, and they allowed New York City bars and restaurants to reopen with outdoor seating, so long as you are eating or have at least a menu in front of you like you intend to eat. But I'm not saying that.
I don't know that that's true, though. There's a lot of places where there's dancing in the streets.
Well, this isn't Astoria, Rach. We're not.
I'm in the Bronx.
Oh, well, the Bronx.
South Bronx.
Yeah.
And they're not really serving food. They're serving drinks. Everybody's dancing. And
yeah, well.
it's an outdoor street party.
Well, there you go. Again, but people are dealing with this stress in different ways. Some are acting out in different ways. Some are saying, like, fuck the mask. I ain't wearing no fucking mask. Some are like, oh, there's no large gatherings, and they're having house parties with 50, 60, 70 people, no social distancing. I'm not telling you what is the right way to handle this stuff, but a lot of this acting out, whether it's on social media, whether it's in person, and quote, real life, is because of the stressors that we are under, not just as individuals, but as a society right now. And you act out in a way as, it's a matter of, it's a coping mechanism. And it's probably not the most efficient way to cope, but humans are not really the most efficient species out there when it comes to coping. I could tell you what my cat does when she's stressed. She cleans herself. After hiding underneath the table somewhere in the corner and hidden, she'll come out and she'll clean herself, and that's how she'll de-stress. Maybe we gotta take more showers. I don't know. I know, it's been a rambling episode. I had a lot of things on my mind, I guess. Folks, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not going to tell you what you should do aside from take the actions that keep you, yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones, your community safe. If you don't know what to do or what not to do, reach out to a medical professional, get professional advice. All right, some of it's conflicting. I can't speak on that. Folks, be safe, be well. God bless you all. Before I forget, if you go to 10carstavern.com, today's blog post is about Rocky Gardner. They're doing a GoFundMe to raise money to support him and his family. He has lung cancer. He had surgery. He's recovering from surgery. It means he's not working. His wife is not working her old hours, that's for sure. She's taking care of Rocky, taking care of their kids. If you can help, it's appreciated. If you are like many in this current situation where you can't afford to help monetarily, I'm sure prayers and positive good thoughts in that direction. Rach? Huh? We're talking about Rocky. We're not talking about what's on TV at the moment. Sorry. In the background on TV, they're gonna chop a a pig up on Forged in Fire.
Some kind of hatchets.
Yes.
Ugh.
So, folks, I will hopefully talk with you all tomorrow. I'll tell you about the pig. Woohoo! All right. Laters.